right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes, Real Estate Quarterback Show, RE/MAX Elite Realty. Great lineup today on the show. And before we get back into this awesome content, I want to talk about a couple of hot listings that just hit the market. 1850 Main Street in Safety Harbor. This is a absolute cash cow. We've got 11 units, cash flowing, no vacancies. And you will not have vacancies in this Safety Harbor community. It's right on Main Street. An awesome inventory home for you here at $950,000. We just listed this literally 2 or 3 days ago. We've got another unique property to build and buy some vacant land, as we just heard John talking about. Maybe put it in your IRA. But you got 5603 East Longboat Boulevard. Now, this is in the Bayport community. Bayport is a great opportunity to live close to the airport, right around that Hillsborough, Memorial, Sheldon intersection there. And we got a vacant piece of land. You can build your dream home here on this 5603 East Longboat. Maybe talk to Ron Schulte, one of our partners with Mark Ruttenberg, our new home builder, preferred partner as well. And reach out about these or any of these topics that we're talking about today for your real estate, mortgage, credit, finance, debt planning advice at 813-917-1894. It's our consumer advocacy hotline. You can text or call, leave a voicemail. We'll get right back to you before our head hits the pillow that evening, is my promise to you. So you're listening to Real Estate Quarterback Show. And next up in studio here, we've got Aaron Fodiman, publisher and editor of Tampa Bay Magazine. And what's new, Aaron? What are you seeing out there?
Well, Brandon, of course, this is the time for our annual Best of Tampa Bay issue, where we take in suggestions from thousands and thousands of our readers as to what they believe are the very best things in the Tampa Bay area. And then we collate them, put them together, check them out, and finally print them in the magazine. And people hang on to this issue literally for years because they always like to test and see whether we were right or wrong. We encourage them to do so. And we understand that just because the majority of people may like one thing the best, many other people may find that there's something else that they think is superior to that. But it doesn't matter because we know that if they try one of the ones that we did suggest, it will be a good experience.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always opinions, and that's great that you're accumulating that data and putting it out there for the Tampa Bay residents to check it out and kind of see and maybe test it out and give you some feedback on it. I love that. And I love that part of the magazine as well, where you have people taking pictures at different locations where they're traveling throughout the world.
Oh, that's our celebrity traveler section. And we get a lot of laughs internally on that because we have rules that we have for sending in the pictures. One, we don't want more than 2 or 3 people in a picture. And that's so that you can see their faces, because if you have a group of 5 or 6 people, all of a sudden the picture gets so small you can't tell who the person is. The other rule we have, it must be in front of a recognizable landmark.
Right.
So we'll have people send us pictures of themselves from Africa, but they'll be standing in front of a tent that could just have well been put up in their backyard, and they don't understand we can't just print it and say, well, this was taken in Africa. We want it to show that it's in Africa.
Sure.
And then my favorite story of all was the woman who traveled all around the world, sent in 15 pictures of herself with the magazine in front of very recognizable landmarks.
Very cool.
There was one problem. It wasn't our magazine.
Oh, man.
So I called her to explain why they wouldn't be appearing in our magazine.
Yeah.
And her response to me was simply, does that mean you can't use any of them?
Yeah, none of them work because it's not with
Right.
our brand. Oh, man. And then the publisher's postulates, the rat race. I love this. Each magazine that comes out, it says I'm kind of a big deal, and it has your wife there, Margaret, and it says behind every successful man is a very surprised wife.
Yes, and I think that's true for everyone. And that's my opportunity to just sit down and write some of the things that I've thought about as the world goes on. And I try very carefully not to make them rants, not to make them anything other than a positive view that will get someone to think about their own life and how they might be able to apply what I'm talking about to their own life. Again, I try not to direct anybody's thoughts, only to get them to think.
Sure, absolutely, and that's what we're doing here with the show. I mean, that goes hand in hand with our overall consumer advocacy platform. Is we want people to step out of that everyday norm and just reach out and engage us. We want to entertain them, and we want to provide the listeners that content that's going to help them live a better life and ultimately win in any marketplace. Could be several different marketplaces. And then I love this paragraph here. It says most of us strive to be the best, the biggest, or some other superlative. But that reign, even when achieved, often becomes harder to defend against the next contender. No one can run a 4-minute mile until Roger Bannister did it. But since his record-breaking achievement, the 4-minute mile has been beaten time and time again. I love that one.
Well, and I think that's a lesson for all of us to learn, that many things that people thought couldn't be done have been done by others, and that freed them to do it because now they knew it could be done. There's an old saying, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't.
Right. Absolutely. It goes along with that movie, The Secret, that came out a couple years ago, and a lot of people, especially millennials, they live by that now. It's thoughts are things. Put your best foot forward, do your best, and what you think about most often is going to come about in your life, and that's great. That's what we've done with the show, and we've got so many things planned here for the future. So yeah, we just love the growth, and the magazine is an awesome extension of the over philosophy of Tampa Bay as a greater Tampa Bay area market.
And of course, that's what we intend to do, is remind people all the time that Tampa Bay is a powerful market. It's a metropolitan area that's now considered the 12th largest area in the country. And very few people are aware of the power we have down here, even to the extent that we have 3 major sports teams. There are very few other areas that can make that claim. So Tampa Bay, to me, has been a key phrase to get people to understand that we're not just the beaches of Clearwater, we're not St. Petersburg, we're not just Tampa.
Yep.
That we're a combined community.
Absolutely. We live in arguably the greatest area in the state, in the nation. So yeah, when we come back, more from Aaron Fodiman and a financial solutions attorney, Pete Carrott. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.